What's up, Ocean? You got Matt here, and today I'm bringing you a guide on how to use Ting-Lu in competitive Pokemon. This is one of the most insane, most bulky Pokemon that have ever been released. So if you're excited for the video, then make sure to leave a like on the video to help us reach our like goal of 100 likes. Be sure to comment your thoughts on Ting-Lu and the other ruined Pokemon down in the comments below for your chance to be named the winner of the comment of the day and have your comment appear on this screen. And also, guys, subscribe to the channel to help us reach our sub goal of 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know we can do it, we just need your support. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Starting off with its stats, it has a ridiculous 155 base HP. That is ridiculously crazy. I cannot state how insane that is. So few Pokemon have an HP stat even close to that. On top of it, it has 110 in its attack stat, which is nothing at all to laugh at. Pair that with 125 in its defense, that's just absolutely crazy. 55 special attack, whatever. I mean, you're not a special attacker, it is what it is. You've got 80 special defense, which is ideal to have with the ridiculous 155 base HP. And then you have a really poor, below average 45 base speed stat, which at the end of the day, does it really matter? Not necessarily, because you're taking so many hits, you really don't need to have that much speed, and you're not going to be investing in your speed that much either. 570 is the overall base stat total, which is really impressive, especially when you pair it with its typing. Ground and Dark is an amazing typing. Shared with Crocodile, this Pokemon is weak to Bug, Fairy, Fighting, Grass, Ice, and Water. It has a couple of key resistances to Dark, Ghost, Poison, and Rock, and it also is immune to two types, Electric and Psychic. Because it's a Dark type, it's also immune to Prankster, and it is also immune to Sandstorm because it is a Ground type as well. So super well balanced Pokemon here in terms of a type. Really elite typing you're going to see here. In terms of its ability, it is a Vessel of Ruin. This ability is very similar to the other ones we've covered so far, being Beads of Ruin and Sword of Ruin. Essentially, what this ability does is it reduces the special attack of all Pokemon out in the field, other than this specific Ting-Lu, by 25%. So if your opponent has gone for a nasty plot, they still get the +2 boost, and you take that number they've received and you cut that by 25%. And that is going to be your new special attacking stat, which again, that is so important to have, because it makes this thing so much bulkier than it already is. Amazing already. In terms of its move pool, it has quite a wide range of options, but are they going to be as effective as they need to be? Maybe, maybe not. Starting off with the Ground Stop, Earthquake is going to be obviously the main form of damage here. This is an amazing move, 100 base power, no downside, really super solid. But the most important move on this thing, I think, is going to end up being Body Press. Body Press is incredible, 80 base power move that uses the defense as the way to calculate the damage. So if you have a max defense Ting-Lu with Body Press, you're basically using a 125 base power attack, well, base stat attack, really valuable there. Then in terms of other stats, other moves that it has, rather, you have Heavy Slam. Really good for a Pokemon as heavy as Ting-Lu. You're going to be doing a lot of damage, especially to Fairy type Pokemon that are going to try and come in and hit you with powerful stab options. You have access to Rock Slide and Stone Edge. Rock Slide being the preferred option for VGC, even though this Pokemon is currently not legal in VGC, and Stone Edge as well for singles is really solid. Then it has Throat Chop as its main form of physical dark stab options. This thing doesn't get knockoff, and that is so unfortunate. That is so big. This is the third Pokemon we've covered in the Ruin series, and this is the third one that does not get knockoff, unfortunately. That really hurts. It does also get Snarl, however, though, which is solid. But Throat Chop for the physical option is fine. Snarl for the support in doubles could be useful for sure. It also has access to Ruination, which is basically just Dark type Nature's Madness or Super Fang. It is 90 base power, Dark type move, and it has the ability to do 50% of the remaining health that your opponent has as damage. Very valuable. On top of that, it gets Hazards. It gets access to Spikes and to Stealth Rocks. Amazing. It also gets Taunt. Now, while it's slow, Taunt is still really valuable on a Pokemon like this because it stops people from just slacking off in front of you, or clicking Recover, or Roost, or Will-O-Wisp, or whatever the case may be. On top of that, it prevents setup because it has access to Whirlwind. If this Pokemon didn't have setup, or Whirlwind rather, setting up on it would be the best way to break through it. And then there's Memento, which is one of the moves that you don't really see run very often on Ting-Lu, but it makes enough sense to the point I should be mentioning it today. Moving on to some amazing teammates we have for this Pokemon. Starting off with Goldengo. Goldengo's been in a lot of these guides because it's an amazing Pokemon with an amazing type combination here. Steel and Ghost is absolutely insane. It has a great speed tier at 84 and a ridiculous special attacking stat at 133. But the main draw to it is the fact that it resists 6 of the types that Ting-Lu is weak to, and it also blocks Defog, Rapid Spin, and Mortal Spin. Really useful there because now the hazards that Ting-Lu is getting up can't actually be removed. Super important there, unless you're going for, like, I don't know, Tidy Up on Mousehold or something. Either way, the fact that it resists the types, that is so valuable to have. On top of that, we have Dondozo, which is a pure water type. This thing has ridiculous stats with 150 HP, 115 defense, and then 65 special defense. Not as impressive, but the fact that it has such a high base defensive stat total means you're able to have a really nasty defensive core with Ting-Lu and Dondozo. Obviously, both are weak to grass, but that's not the end of the world because Dondozo has access to Unaware, so grass types or Pokemon that are going for grass type moves can't even set up on it, and Dondozo can pressure them out that way. Very valuable. Then we have Corviknight. One of the reasons why is because it's an amazing Pokemon to provide defog support for Ting-Lu. One of the issues with Ting-Lu is it has no reliable recovery outside of rest. So going for something like a hazard stacking option against a team with Ting-Lu is a good strategy. However, if you can have a great defogger, arguably the best one in the game in Corviknight, then you're able to get rid of them so that your opponent is not able to wear you down a lot easier than they normally would. Then we have Pokemon like Quackaball. Why Quackaball? Because it's an amazing sweeper and it really appreciates the hazards. If you get up a couple spikes and then rocks, and then you get to chip something down with maybe a body press, and then you go into Quackaball and you go for an Aqua Step, you get a +1 boost in speed and a +1 boost in attack if you get the KO from Moxie. Very important there to be able to get the ball rolling. Then we have Alomomola. This Pokemon is really weird and I'm a little annoyed that it's back in the game, I'm not going to lie. But what it's really good at doing is it's really good at keeping itself healthy and a defensive partner healthy because it has really fat wishes. And it can pair the wish with a regenerator of its own and be able to keep both Pokemon healthy. Super valuable. They pair really well defensively, just like Dondozo. They have the shared weakness to grass, but other than that, they pair well with each other overall. Then we have Garchomp. Now Garchomp is really good because Ting-Lu forces in answers to ground types and it can pressure them with either hazards, body press, ruination, whatever the case may be, and then Garchomp is freed up to do a lot of work after that. So I do like Garchomp as a combination, and then Dragapult, mostly because it resists a couple of types that Ting-Lu is weak to, and it can pressure these faster non-Scarfers really, really well. Moving on to the best Terra types for this Pokemon. I'll be honest, there's not really one Terra type that stands out to me, and this is the first time I'm saying that. I really don't believe there's any Terra type that's like, great. Ghost is fine, it gets the job done, I guess. Ground is good for like a boosted stab option, but most of the time you're just going to be clicking Earthquake anyways, and you're probably going to want to Terastalize something else instead. And then I guess Steel. I saw a set for a Steel Ting-Lu that was in doubles that took advantage of like weakness policy with like Bulldoze off from your own party and under Trick Room. It could be really useful. Issue is that's so inconsistent. I don't feel it's even really worth it in any situation because there's better sets to be run. Onto some items for Ting-Lu. The real issue with this Pokemon is that because it's more of a defensive Pokemon, not an offensive threat, you're really not going to be effectively running this thing offensively. You're going to want to run it defensively. So you're not going to go with items like a Life Orb or a Choice Band. Like you can, it's just not going to be as good, anywhere near as good as if you were running something like a Leftovers, which is absolutely amazing on this Pokemon because it has 155 base HP. So you're recovering back so much health every single turn. Then there's the Rocky Helmet, which is arguably one of the better items to have on Ting-Lu, one of the best ones in general, because you're able to take so many different hits. Yes, you're weak to Flip Turn and U-Turn. You're going to take different attacks over the course of the game. But because Knockoff was nerfed and there are so few Pokemon that get the move Knockoff now, you're basically able to get 17% off on your opponent at any point in time. Super valuable to have access to with the Rocky Helmet. I think that the Chesto Berry is amazing. Why? Because Resto Chesto works. It works very well, and as I mentioned before, that the knockoff nerf is real. Fewer Pokemon get it, and that's going to be a good thing for Ting-Lu clicking Rest with the Chesto Berry. And then lastly, the Citrus Berry works well. I think this can be more so for doubles, but it's very useful for Pokemon with a high HP stat, getting that 25% health once you drop under half HP. Super useful. Onto movesets for Ting-Lu. Usually I have about 4 or 5, but this time around I only have 3 of them because really, what are you going to do differently with Ting-Lu? Starting off, we have a specially defensive set with the Leftovers. Vessel of Ruin, obviously, Careful Nature, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, or Spikes if you want. Stealth Rock is probably better in this case. Whirlwind and Rock Slide. Just solid all around. Edgequake coverage is good, but you're specially defensive. With the Vessel of Ruin, you're lowering their special attack stat. You're going to take hits on the special side for days. Then we have a Rocky Helmet set, which is fully physically defensive with Earthquake, Stealth Rock, or Spikes, Whirlwind again, and then Body Press this time around because you want to take advantage of that really high physical defense stat. And then lastly, we have a Chesto Berry set, but this time around we're running mixed defenses. When you have a Pokemon that's such a high HP stat, you're actually better off. You're going to get more bulk out of it if you are going to be investing into the defense and the special defense stat. It's like Guzzlord. You'd rather invest in defense and special defense than its HP because you're going to get more out of the investment. So this Pokemon, same deal here. Max defense, max HP, Impish Nature to get the boost in defense, and 4 HP. We have Earthquake, Spikes, or Stealth Rocks, body press, and then this time here we have rest with the Chesto Berry. This set works really well, especially in doubles, in my opinion. I also think that the first set I ran, the one with Rock Slide, is also really good for doubles. The issue is Rock Slide is not going to flinch because they're so slow. Now for some predictions for where I think this Pokemon is going to be ending up in each of the various metagames. We talked about this after the dust settles. Where do we think it will land? In general, we look at Smogon, VGC, and Draft League being the main three. These Pokemon are all going to be getting the same treatment. And this Pokemon in Smogon, I believe, will be in the OU tier. I seriously do not think it's a good idea for this thing to be anything lower than OU. It could drop down to UU, but I think it'll be banned from UU pretty quickly because it is so damn fat. This Pokemon just does not die. It takes so many hits, even in the OU tier with a lot of Pokemon around that are getting banned and sent to Ubers, and Pokemon are just absolutely busted. It takes hits for days. This thing has a great way to weaken opposing special attackers, allowing it to be able to set up hazards, and combine that with the defensive typing it has, it's able to put in so much work. Definitely going to be an OU Pokemon. As for VGC, this Pokemon is going to be below average, and that's surprising, but here's why. Even though it has immunities to Electric and Psychic, the issue is it's weakening your own Pokemon too. It's weakening the offensive output that you have as well. That's not to say it's not going to have success in VGC, I just think that the success it's going to have in singles is really going to outclass it in doubles. This Pokemon, in my opinion, 100% it is definitely a singles Pokemon. Now on for Draft League, this is my specialty, and on a 17 to 18 point scale, this Pokemon is going to be around the 13 to 15 point mark. Why? In Draft League, it's very important to have a lot of different type combinations, and having immunities to Pokemon that are going to be spamming Electric and Psychic type attacks all in one Pokemon is really useful. It's also an amazing pivot because it has such an awesome defensive type and an awesome stat distribution defensively. So you're able to come in, get up your hazards, take a hit, switch onto a better threat, and that's exactly what you have to do in Draft. You get to play around your opponent and counter team them a little bit. That's really what it is. So I think that Ting-Lu works very well. The main issue is it lacks recovery outside of rest. So you have to be very careful the way you play, and because of that, I don't think it'll actually see play higher than 15. I think honestly even 15 is kind of stretching it, mostly around 13 to 14 points once the dust settles. And that's all I've got for you guys today on Ting-Lu. This Pokemon is absolutely crazy, but honestly guys, I had such an amazing time making this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as well. If you did or you learned something, then make sure to leave a like on the video. We're aiming for 100 likes on the content to help us reach our like goal. Also be sure to comment your thoughts on Ting-Lu or the rest of the ruined Pokemon, which is your favorite, down in the comments below for your chance to be named the winner of the comment of the day and have your comment posted in the next video. Also guys, subscribe to the channel. It is the best way to show your support. And of course guys, we're aiming for 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know we can do it. Shout out to our YouTube channel members as well. Their support is greatly appreciated. They went the extra mile by supporting the channel financially. And if you guys want to do so as well, there's a join button on the screen. So shout out to our level 1s, which are Liv, Eric, Zeke, and Texas Man. Our level 2 is Tone, and our level 3 is Sully. Also, thank you to my buddy Tone for helping me with today's video. Honestly, guys, we can't pump out this kind of content this quickly without the support from some amazing people. So can we get a big thank you to Tone in the comments below? And also guys, if you're interested, his channel link is down in the description as well, so make sure you go and check him out. But everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, I hope you enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys all tomorrow.